Hospital reporters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV and welcome to this HPANWO TV investigation of the Harwell campus in Oxford. This is alleged to be one of the secret entrances to the Peasemore base. Well, if you look into the description box, you'll see I investigated Peasemore a few weeks ago. Well, hospital reporters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. I'm here at the Harwell campus. There's several different institutions actually work on this campus, but I'm just having a quick film around. I'm actually in the actual facility itself now, filming illegally. When I get onto the main street, the public area, I'll be able to film a lot more openly. But I just want to get a look at what it's like inside, and to be honest, it doesn't look that suspicious. I'm walking on, this is called Fermi Avenue, and I've just been through the Fermi Gate. That's the Fermi Gate, obviously named after Enrico Fermi, the famous physicist. So I've got a cut. If anyone asks me what I'm doing, I've got a cover story. I'll say I'm looking for Professor Steele's office. I'm crafty, you see. So there's some old buildings, that's the England's Public Health Institution there. Well, I think it's called that, something like that. And let's have a look. This is called Public Health England. Yeah. See that? Public Health England. Of course, what I'm looking for is any sign that there's a secret entrance to the Peasemore base. Now, that's much older. That's an older building, that Public Health England institution. So, my guess is if it's anywhere, it'll be in one of the older buildings, because according to James Casbolt and Barry King, the base has been open since the Peasemore base was built, at least in the early 70s, and they were there in 1977. James Casbolt, part of Project Mannequin, and of course Barry King, part of security. There's an older building. I mean, as I said, I've been into the history of this institution a little bit. It's unlikely that the entrance is unlikely to be plainly visible. Well, of course it won't be plainly visible. It's likely concealed very carefully in one of the older buildings. Now, that over there is the Rutherford Appleton Laboratories. You can see that is that's more likely to be the kind of place, actually. But these are obviously modern buildings. I'm just going to cross over the road here. Now we go along here, we get to a very interesting place indeed, because we get to the Diamond light source, but that's a more modern area, so I think I'll give that a shot from the other side and see what I get. Here's the official website of the Harwell what was it called? Science and It's Harwell's. Oh, do you use cookies? I don't know. Well, it's various pictures from it anyway. I just call it the Harwell Laboratories. There's lots of more hexagons here. It's interesting they use these various. There's a picture of that's where we were. See, there's the Diamond Light facility, and funny you use these hexagon shapes like they did before. Look, there's hexagons. There's the hexagons in the logo. I didn't notice that. But community events. Let's have a look. Right, nothing. Because yeah, very interesting stuff. I was just going to say they play cricket and have parties. It all looks fairly innocent actually, but then I suppose it would. I mean, looking at the overhead view, I can't see where they would necessarily put the entrance to an underground base. I'm not really up on these things anyway, but I've never designed an deep underground military base myself, so can't say I'm an expert in that field. Right, now you see diamond, the diamond light source. Oof. This strange. Yeah, it says don't know how much of that you can see. 738 meters in circumference. Now, I don't like doing. I'm not that keen on doing European measurements. I just do basically feet, and I'll work it out what it is in feet and everything when I in a little while. But that's the diamond light source there. Now, this is a new building opened up by the Queen in 2007, so it's unlikely to be the place where the entrance to Peasemore is. It's actually it's a big donut-shaped building, as I showed you on the map, with the diamond light source inside it. Nothing suspicious at all there. I can see. In fact, my general impression of this area is it's pretty open and quite amenable. In fact, I'm not sure. I think this may be a public highway actually, in which case, you know, I don't need to film secretly, although I want to keep a low profile simply because there are if the entrance to Peasemore is here, it's going to be very, very well guarded, and I don't want to alert anyone to my presence. So there you are, diamond light source. Well, here's the official website of the Diamond Light Source. It's UK's National Synchrotron Science Facility, located at the Harwell Science and Innovation Campus, which is what its official name is now. It sounds to me very similar to the Large Hadron Collider, because it says it accelerates electrons to near light speed. Diamond generates brilliant beams of light from infrared and X-rays, from infrared to X-rays, which are used for academic and industry research and development across a range of scientific disciplines, including structural biology, physics, chemistry, materials science, engineering, earth and environmental sciences. As I said elsewhere in this video, it's funded to the tune of several £billion by the government and by the Wellcome Trust. Basically talks about how it works here, how diamond is used. It's basically a very, very bright light. It's rather like the LHC. I was reading about it earlier. There's like a ring of magnets, except there's no large hadrons in them. There's electrons. It's kind of like it turns out a very, very bright electromagnetic radioactive pulse. That's what it does, which can be used for all kinds of things, from examining old. I think on Wikipedia it said that they examined part of the hull of the Mary Rose ship, the old shipwreck they brought up, and it's used for examining molecules and things like that as well. All kinds of things it can be used for. That's the diamond light source. Okay, it's a little bit easier from this angle to actually see the synchrotron there. It's quite well. I've just gone past some guys planting some trees, so it's a well kept ground. Obviously, how it appears, you know, it's various kind of like appearance is very important. So the people here, the management are concerned about the public perception. It's certainly not an Area 51. As I explained earlier, there's several things which the light source there can be used for. It doesn't necessarily mean there's anything kind of like suspicious going on with that. I'm just going to go around here and see if I can find out more from a different angle, because as I said, I've just gone down the main road inside the actual campus, and I filmed secretly deep inside the campus, as you've just seen. That's Fermi Avenue. And there's various different other roads and avenues which are named after famous scientists. Curie Road, Rutherford Road. In fact, the Rutherford Appleton Laboratory is there, of course. So I'm going to see. I'm probably maybe get a better view from a different angle. I've seen nothing so far that indicates anything suspicious. I've just seen a well-kept grounds. It's obviously well kept estate. There's the lawns, as you see, are very well mowed. There's these trees everywhere. There's some guys over there planting a tree right now. Well, they were just a minute ago. And it seems quite welcoming to the public. The roads are well turned out and clean. The buildings are attractive. So the public image is important. They're obviously used to visitors, and here we are. See the Fermi entrance to the Harwell campus. This is the main road that runs beside the Harwell campus. There's the Harwell campus over this is the A4195. If you see on the map where we are exactly, we're between it's not far from Wanted, actually, in Oxfordshire. Quite a distance south of Culham, which of course where I was before. If you remember my nuclear fusion power video, where I went to Culham to find out what was going on there. Right, let's see if I can get a closer look at this place. Maybe see some things that are not obvious from the main road or from the main highways within the campus itself. Right, HPANWO TV viewers, I'll just show you where I am going today. And I'm using Ordnance Survey Land Ranger map number 174. It's the 2005 edition, and that's very significant, as you'll soon find out. Now I'll just give you quick bearings of where we are. It's basically the same map I used last time for my little trip to Peasemore. There's Didcot, Wantage, the Oxfordshire-Berkshire border runs along here, and down here is Newbury and Thatcham, and this here is Hungerford, and it'll give you a general idea. This is the highlands of West Berkshire here, the Downs and that area. Just along here we have Lambourne, the famous racing school for jockeys, jockeys. And of course we have lots of gallops here as well, because it's very famous. This area is very famous for its gallops. Like I say, the jockeys live at Lambourne, they train in this area here. Now, this is where we're heading. The Harwell International Business Centre, or Laboratories, the Rutherford Appleton Laboratory. As you can see, it's not entirely accurate because the diamond light source is not there, because this is 2005 this was made. Just to give you a bit of perspective, I'll pull out, keep your eye on that. Where are we? I'm trying to find Peasemore is here. Alright. There's Harwell, there's the village of Harwell, and there's Harwell, and Peasemore, I've kind of lost it now. Peasemore is there. So the alleged connection between the entrance and the base runs between Harwell, the Harwell Laboratories, and Peasemore. Now I'm guessing that it runs in a straight line because it is underground, doesn't have to go around in. Let's look at the scale. So we're talking about 10 miles probably, Harwell to Peasemore. It's about 10 miles, I reckon. Of course, there's more other things in here. You know, there's one of the other base entrances is supposedly at Greenham Common, which is actually right off this map. But if you look at the area, I was saying before about how there's so many scientific research establishments. I'll be talking about this later in the film. For instance, there's a research centre here at Milton Hill. There's where's the agricultural one I saw? Where are we? I mean, when I was on my way to Peasemore, we went past the Agricultural Research Council Field Station. And and there's many military bases like Greenham Common. Where's Aldermaston? Where is it? I think it's not on this map, but Aldermaston Atomic Energy Research Centre. I'll try and show it you on the other map when I get online, but this is the map I'll be using basically. This is the area I'm going to, so we shall proceed to see what else we can find in this strange area. Oh, so I just dropped that. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get my bearings. Right, this is where I am now. I've just come down this short road. I'm at the south end of the campus, the Harwell campus. The campus is actually over there. Now, one thing that immediately strikes me is I can't actually get a view from this angle. There's this very high fence, and there's also an earth berm inside as well. Now, this was originally a military base, just like Culham was originally a military airfield. So this berm and fence the fence I don't think dates back that far, but this earth berm may date back to that time, because a lot of military facilities do have these defences, these earthworks that are built up to act as defences. Very, very thick undergrowth. Even at this time of year, this thick undergrowth, or these thick bushes, also obscure my sight of the actual location I've come to examine. So I can't see anything at this angle. I'm going to have to try from another angle. It's a lovely spot. I mean, it's not so nice today with these chemtrail-filled skies. One of the most horrible chemtrails today. Look, they're laying some more there. There's some spraying going on up there. It's become much more cloudy lately. Earlier on, as you saw, I had there was a lot of mist and fog, and yesterday was very, very thick fog everywhere. All over the south of England was covered in fog, including Oxford. Still a lot of fog around today. Not much thinner than yesterday though, but it does. You can see the fog when you look at those big hills of the Downs there. Those are the Berkshire Downs. It's underneath those hills there that the Peasemore base. The Peasemore base is allegedly built. Now I'll show you where I'm going. I'm heading down this. To get the map to stay still for a moment. There's the Harwell campus there. I'm heading down that red road there leading southwest, and it ends up on the Ridgeway. The oldest road in the country, dates back at least 5,000 years. At the end of this road, where I can actually there turn up and carry on up the west side of the facility. You see how old this map is? You see it doesn't show the donut shaped diamond light source there. So this map is pre-2007. It's possible I may be blessed. So far I've not seen anything to indicate there's anything to link Peasemore to this particular facility, but I will keep trying. I'll keep looking and see if I see anything. Obviously I will be filming it. But the connection with the Ridgeway is very interesting, because as I was explaining in the original Peasemore film, I was noting the particular area, this West Berkshire area, although we're still in Oxfordshire technically here. This used to be actually part of Berkshire. In 1974 the county boundaries were changed in a lot of areas, and several 100 square miles were seceded to Oxfordshire from the northwest Berkshire. Although I'm glad to say we didn't go to war over it. And the people in areas like Abingdon, Didcot used to be in Berkshire, and now in Oxfordshire, including where we are now. But I've noticed before this. There's a car coming. I noted before the strange appearance, as I said, these two things put together, which is the modern military and scientific establishments. As I was saying, I'm now pointing towards the earth berm is still there, and you can see it on the other side of these bushes. The link between modern scientific research facilities, military bases, and as I showed on the map, there's a lot of those around here, and of course ancient earthworks. As I showed you, we have got Grimm's Ditch near here. We're heading towards the Ridgeway now, and lots of old hill forts, those two are suspiciously close together. As I said last week when I was talking about the Peasemore base. It is under those hills there that the Peasemore base is. On the other, somewhere up there, you can't see from here, is actually the village of Peasemore, where I was a few weeks ago. Now, Casbolt and King actually said that beneath that charming little Berkshire village, in the middle of the hills, which I showed you, 600 feet down is the highest levels of a highly secretive, top secret, deep underground military base. I do urge you to go to the Bases movies and the early Bases videos that were made by Miles Johnston, where he talks about, he interviews Barry King and James Casbolt, and we find out a bit more about what happened to them. They were involved with this base, which is a very extensive underground base beneath the village. But as I was discovering when I went there, there's nothing actually in the village to indicate that there's anything underneath there, if it exists. It's 600 feet down, but it goes down much further. It goes down, I think they said it was a mile deep. There's many levels, many caverns, and the base is run by the National Security Agency of the United States and many other organisations. Lisa Williams is another person who has information about that base. And basically what they were doing there is there's Project Mannequin, which Casbolt talks about, which is very similar to what was going on at the Dulce base in New Mexico, USA. If you ever have read the Dulce book by Branton and listened to the revelations of people like Paul Benowitz. Actually, I think Paul Benowitz was being controlled. This doesn't mean that Dulce base doesn't exist. It might not. I mean, the UFO hunters went there, as I explained in the first film, and couldn't find anything. Very strange effect of fog there. It's very thick on one side of that tree and not so thick on the other. Amazing. But you see, there is fog here. Anyway, Paul Benowitz, I think, was under the control of a guy called Richard Doty. He was a very suspicious individual. It all goes back to a very old and rather sordid story in the annals of ufology, and it involves the writer Bill Moore. Now William Moore was one of the authors of one of the original Roswell books, along with Paul, what's his name, Berlitz, the guy who does the language things. What Bill Moore did was he was actually approached by a group of guys wearing a suits, you know, the old story. No real identification with these people. And they took him to a restaurant. He had a little meal and they had a discussion. And these guys who didn't identify themselves offered him a deal. They said to Bill Moore, they said we are the keepers of the secrets of UFOs. We have the saucer in the hangar, as Nick Pope calls it, and stuff like that. And we will give you exclusive access to some of those secrets. But in exchange, you must provide us with intelligence on people in the ufological community. You must give me names, dates, faces, and information on what they're up to. Now, Bill Moore, the fool, he agreed, and he became a shill. And he openly confessed this on stage in 1989 at the International UFO Congress. Charles Berlitz is the guy who co-wrote the book Roswell Incident with William Moore. Bill Moore, I think he was quite ashamed of what he did. But he confessed, and of course he unfortunately provided these individuals, these unnamed men in black suits, with all kinds of information about people in ufology. And the men in black suits never ever gave him, they never kept their end of the deal. They welched completely, they didn't ever give him any information on UFOs. And if Bill Moore had been a bit more with it and a bit less stupid naive, he would have realised that was going to happen anyway. They would never keep their side of the bargain. This all ties in with the Benowitz affair, because Paul Benowitz was another of these guys who was he was supposedly given secret information by a guy called Richard Doty. Now Richard Doty still turns up at these damn congresses, but he's really one of the most worrying individuals in ufology. He's a former member of AFOSI, the Air Force Office of Special Intelligence. So he was an agent, and a government agent, and Paul Benowitz trusted him. It's quite likely actually that Richard Doty was one of the men in dark suits who Bill Moore met at that restaurant, who were his handlers when he was a shill. But anyway, that's the background to the Dulce. This doesn't mean the Dulce base doesn't exist. It means that there's still many witnesses coming out and talking about it. Alleged video taken from inside it. It's possible it does exist. Right. But we just don't know. We just don't know enough. But the Peasemore base is similar to that. The Peasemore base, which lies underneath these hills here, is similar. It's involved in everything from mind control to genetic experimentation. It's quite a horrible thing to talk about. The genetic experimentation often involves the creation of half animal, half human hybrids, also half animal, half alien, or half human and half alien. The Dulce base has allegedly a section known as Nightmare Hall, where the most horrible freaks of nature or freaks of artificial and genetic engineering are produced. The Peasemore base begins 600 feet down. It goes down to over a mile in depth, 450 by 650 yards wide. It's probably going to, if it's a mile deep, I mean that's probably quite small in its extent, but as I've said, as I mentioned in the last video, Peasemore, David Cameron, our fearless leader, used to live in Peasemore. So and I found it a charming little place. And as the lady in the pub explained, who I secretly filmed, I had to apologise afterwards to her, she hadn't heard of anyone experiencing anything strange. Now I'm looking towards the actual facility, and there's not an awful lot I can actually see because these hills are in the way. Here's a part of it there. Now these look like older buildings, so these are more promising, I think. The areas in the middle of the base on Fermi Avenue were actually the base. I'm using the word base. The people on the middle of yeah, come on, focus. Somebody's come filming through the trees. I'm going to get a bit closer, so I'm just going to have to step off the road a minute. Ooh. Now that's better. Don't know how much you can see there. There we are. There's a communications tower. Some building. Those look like older buildings there. That's the southern end. So this is the Rutherford Appleton Laboratory section of the facility, as I showed you on the map. Yeah, look, some red brick buildings, 3 stories high. There are ground level entrances there, and the car park. And as I said, I was talking about the car park earlier. I can't really see from this angle. I'm gonna have to look maybe at Google Earth to see it from above. But one of the things I was saying, there's some more over there. Some more material things over there. As I was saying before, the size of a car park, that is a satellite dish, huge satellite dish for communication. The size of a car park is very important because if there is a major underground, if this is one of the entrances to Peasemore, because I was saying the Peasemore base that I was talking about, one of the entrances to that base is allegedly here, a good number of miles from Peasemore, as I showed you on the map. But you would actually travel through tunnels in an underground railway, similar to the one in London, the London Underground, to travel between the base and its entrances here. And there's another entrance at the Green and Common base, which is south, further away. Car parks on. Now, if there is a large underground facility anywhere, this is one of the signs to look out for, which I explain in Richard Sauder's books. If you talk about Richard Sauder, one of the real signs to look out for is a building which has a car park that's too big for it. You see a small building like maybe a couple of stories high like this, and it has a massive car park. Too many cars for the number of people in the size of the building you can see. It means that there's a lot of the building which the car park is serving is actually underground. So that is there. That's this red brick building over there. There's a satellite dish over there, or a radio telescope maybe. There's some more buildings there, as you can see. I don't know if maybe that's the synchrotron. Maybe I'm actually looking at the synchrotron over there, just to the right, to the left of that satellite dish. I think that might be the Diamond Light facility there, the source. So I'm actually seeing it from the other angle now. That's one of the signs to look out for, anyway. Oh, I'll get back on the pathway now. But I mean, I'm going to go around the other side of the building. Maybe I can see more. I think this is a Roman road or something. Look, it goes all the way up there where that jogger is. You go a bit further and there's like, it carries on a bit more in terms of a path. So I think it's a kind of Roman road, this. That's what impression I get. Now, as you know, I've showed you and I've been reading Richard Sauder's book Underground Bases and Tunnels, which is an absolute bible for anyone who wants to try and locate these facilities. And as I was explaining, one of the signs you've got to look out for is a car park that is too big for the building it serves, and that is one of the things that Sauder talks about in his book. And there's a car coming. Sauder talks about this in his book. There are several other things to look out for as well, which I'll talk about. Private land. Now that's not, I think that's just a farm. What's that over there? Private land. The land is private. Oh no, look. Private property of the United Kingdom Atomic Energy Authority. And there's not been designated as a public right of way. Well, that is very interesting indeed, because so this is not just a farm, this is actually part of the facility. And there are some objects over there. Those shipping containers or something else? Sorry to digress, ladies and gentlemen. I will get back on topic in a minute. Who's like shipping containers? And there's a thick forest behind. As I showed on the map, there's a strange arrangements of wooded growth around here. Now that is a wind turbine, I think. Yes, it is. It's a wind turbine. I don't know if you saw the substation or the. I don't know if the area has its own power station, possibly. Well, what is that? What are they? I'm looking at what looks like. There's two of them. Tanks or structures of some kind, just poking above that hillside there. Maybe I can get a better look at them from the other side. I'm going to try and hopefully circumnavigate the whole facility. They're tanks or buildings of some kind. Rotundas, I think they look like. They're circular in shape. Let's see if they're marked on the map. Let's have a look. Let me get out my trusty map. No, we're more or less there, where my fingernail is, where that 126 is. We're around about there, and so those dome-shaped buildings would be in sort of a kind of a northwesterly direction over there. I can't see any circular shaped objects at all. No. See if they're on the Google. When I show you the map, we'll know. When we show you the maps at home, I'll look at the Google Earth image of this. I can hear the sound of rotor blades. There's a helicopter up there somewhere. It's in the distance. Yeah, now as I was saying, I've moved on a little bit from that gate, which is run by the Atomic Energy Authority. As I explained earlier, this is the oldest atomic facility in Britain, dating back to the 1930s. But basically, the things to look out for underground facilities are large car parks, as I said. Now, another Sauder mentions is air vents, and I explained this in the first film about Peasemore. But any kind of underground structure has a number of problems it has to overcome, and that is it needs air. So air has to be brought down from the surface. Now, it's true that some underground facilities can actually produce air. They can actually, the oxygen and things like that to enrich the air can be dug out of the ground, and that is true. But it's not. That will probably be only used for emergencies. The same as carbon dioxide scrubbers, which are chemical absorbed. They're canisters full of chemicals which absorb carbon dioxide, so that anyone just see it through the trees there. It's getting very wooded along here, actually. So the carbon dioxide in the breath that is exhaled is actually absorbed by these crystals. This substance. But again, it's something that could only be done temporarily. I imagine it would only be used in emergencies. At the end of the day, you have to have some way of removing exhaled air from the facilities and bringing in oxygen, or even recycling the atmosphere altogether. Because if you look at something that's very deep, there's no source of air, and if as we've often found in mines where miners get trapped, when the engineering breaks down that brings air into the mine, people can suffocate. They suffocate very quickly. I was watching a documentary about the Tautona gold mine, which is near Johannesburg in South Africa, and it's the biggest, deepest mine in the world. It's actually the deepest tunnel in the world, which is a tunnel big enough for people to enter. So there's a need for air, oxygen, and air needs to be brought in. If the air doesn't get brought in, then the people inside die, they suffocate. It's rather like a submarine or a spacecraft. It's similar to that. Now what's this? We have an entrance to something. Looks very grand and ornate, I must say. But it's obviously not a public right of way. And there's a hut there. Looks like this is this is some kind of private facility. I don't know. There's nothing on here. Just the name of the people who make the gates. So there's nothing on here that indicates what it actually is. Only that it is it's some sort of a gate, locked gate. I don't know if it's part of the Atomic Energy Authority or not. I'll have to have a look. I'm just going to check the map actually to find out exactly where I am. Back in a sec. Okay, now other strange things. And there's those red buildings over there. You can see I've come a little bit of a distance now. There's the red building on the satellite dish. That there is the diamond light source, I think. I'm looking at the diamond light source. Yes, it is. That's the diamond light source building. However, there's this large hill just behind this gate. I've just come. This gate I just showed you. It's a high hill there. And there's some kind of entrance there. Is that? No, that's a tree. Sorry. But I was just thinking that that hill is not marked on the map. I'll show you the map. You see, well, there's contours there where I am. I'm not far from where it says Upper Farm. There's no hill marked on that map at all. Very strange indeed. Okay, I've reached a spot now where what looks, it's obviously it's marked as a public footpath, but it's got this sign saying CCTV. Images have been monitored for the purpose of crime prevention and public safety. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing, really. And you can see where I am actually. I've moved slightly. I'm slightly to the south and west of those structures I was talking about earlier. So we're going to cut across now and see if I can get over to the west side of the facility. Oh. I'm a bit like Joe Dunn, really. I hope, Joe, if you're watching this, you're the Florida trailblazer and I'm the sort of Peasemore based trailblazer. Okay, I've come to the southwestern area of the facility, and as you see here, there's a very, very high security fence here and a sign warning people against entering. Obviously visitors are not welcome here. There's a little pathway actually. I think someone's already left the path to examine this. So I'm going to get a bit closer so I can see exactly what this fence is. But obviously you can't go in, obviously. No unauthorised access. This is a protected site under section 128 of the Serious Organised Crimes and Police Act of 2005. That's the same act which prevents you access to Buckingham Palace. Nuclear licensed site boundary. As you see, we have that's the interior of the facility there, you can see just up there. So I'm obviously not going to, they don't want you to go there. So obviously, and here I'm in this, on the other side I have this lovely countryside here, which I've been showing you. Quite a contrast really, but then that's what I've always noticed about this area. Oh. And I continue my journey and see where I get to, and I'll talk some more about what I was talking about earlier before I got sidetracked. Now as you look at that there is it's a concrete barrage there, and that is actually designed to actually seal that gate shut so no one can even ram a car through it. Though who's going to get a car down this pathway, I don't know, but they've obviously taken the precaution of sealing that gate shut to prevent anyone forcing it. And there, over there, is the strange rotunda building that I saw earlier. Very, very odd indeed. And this big fence continues along here. I'm just going to try and find where the public footpath is, because I'm coming close to a crossroads. I just saw a luminous jacket, as David Icke calls them, walking along past here. You see, it goes on a long way, doesn't it? Okay, I'll get back to you in a sec. Okay, I'm now on the western side of the facility. There's these unauthorised signs, no unauthorised access signs every few yards actually. They're all along here. Now I've now got a good view of these two rotundas that I showed you earlier. There's one there. And there's another one. They look like gasometers actually, and it's a bit hard to see through the fence. I'll try and get a bit closer to them, but there's that unmarked hill over there. That strange unmarked hill. This is all getting a little bit spooky actually. It's, there's ravens crying in the distance, not another sound, and these strange facilities. It's starting to make me think a little bit like Blake 7. It reminds me of that. I don't know if you're familiar with Blake 7. That brilliant TV series from the 70s and 80s. It's got that kind of atmosphere, do you know what I mean? If you remember the various planets they used to land on, which everyone thought were alien, but they were obviously filmed somewhere around here. Now over there you have some more older buildings. Again, are we looking at the entrance to the Peasemore base? It will be in one of these older post-war buildings over there. A security guard went past, so that's it. It looks like old school buildings really. So those again are more likely to be the location of any kind of entrance to a facility that's as old as the Peasemore base. It's not likely to be one of the newer buildings. A very good close-up view of one of the rotundas. There's another building beside it, looks like some kind of factory. Again, these are older buildings, so these are the ones I have more interest in. This looks like, say, it's looking like some kind of gasometer, where some kind of gas is stored. It's one of these gas silos you sometimes see in some towns, these big gas works and things. That looks like bike sheds there, but I'm sure it's not. There's like a conduit connecting that tank to that building there. So some more stuff over here come approaching, so I'll have to look for that.